introduction to metal flowers. Now, we're going to be talking about the Epstein Files. It's crazy. The world we live in today, these rich right and left leaders, political leaders, and world leaders are just pissing in our face and wagging their tails at us, knowing there will be no uprising behind this. Children are being sacrificed literally in so many different ways. And there's so many corrupt individuals that are being exposed in these Epstein files. They got tons of important names and important information redacted in these recent file droppings, but nevertheless, these files have revealed a lot about America's and the world's true motivation behind political gain, satanic uprising, and this Illuminati like cabal that they got going on behind closed doors. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. I personally supported him because he has the balls to say what no one else says, and I respect that to a degree. But after these recent droppings of clips from certain interviews with Donald Trump, he's telling the world that we need to move on from the Epstein files, and his party in particular is trying to silence the files, stop them from being released, and trying to stop the world from seeing what's truly going on behind closed doors with these famous billionaires and millionaires that we have currently running the world. Jewish, white, all this. You even got people like Pusha T, rappers like Pusha T being involved in the Epstein files. And it's crazy. Jay Z as well. It lets you know it isn't about your calling and position, it's about your bank account. It's all about your bank account if you can participate in these Illuminati, satanic, mass PDF file rituals with others such as Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. It's not about political gain or political party. It's about one's status financially. And even Jeffrey Epstein's bank account was named Baal, which is a demonic entity, which is an ancient demonic entity where people would sacrifice children for this entity to gain certain powers. And this stuff is outright crazy. You got fucking idiots like Nick Fuentes on the internet sitting here talking about how Epstein isn't that bad and the girls were not really kids. Just a fucking loser outright. I can't stand people like Nick Fuentes. I really can't. I mean, this guy's terrible. He's like a Myron Gaines. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't have beliefs that are not right or conservative. What I'm saying is there are conservative idiots and red pill fools out there that constantly push this fucking foreign garbage on American populace. Um, Nick Fuentes in particular is just a scumbag with no filter, and it's almost like he's trying to be a shock jock to get more views and more participation in his live streams or whatever. They banned this guy from being able to have even his own personal bank account. You want to know why? They don't ban many people for that, but they banned the biggest fucking loser in history, Nick Fuentes. But back onto the Epstein files. I no longer support Trump because he's a piece of fucking garbage as well. This guy is sitting here telling people that you don't have to release the Epstein files because no one cares. When people do care, people care about the Epstein files being released. There's no reason that the public doesn't deserve to know about the Epstein files. I mean, the Epstein files are truly in an anomaly for the populace to find out about because it's something that could that it's something that conspiracists have always conspired about and always talked about before these files were released. And it's the reason they killed Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't kill himself, and even if he did, then Maybe he did, but I don't believe they killed that guy. I believe Jeffrey Epstein was killed because he had the reason. I forgot the guy's name, but he came out on an interview and he said Jeffrey Epstein was the greatest manipulator of all time. It's because Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of dirt on these high reaching political people, and he had a lot of dirt on big name people in the industry and in the world. I mean, he was in ties with Israel, he was in ties with Saudi Arabia, he was in ties with the American political system. I mean, this guy literally escaped so much stuff. The DOJ in Florida, I believe, literally dropped this guy, and he only served like 13 months in prison. And he had work release programs for like 12 hours while he was in prison. And it was basically like an open door policy on Jeffrey Epstein even being able to walk out of his cell. His cell wasn't even locked. The guy was in solitary confinement, so no one could truly understand to the magnitude of what it really was, how he could walk free and do what he wanted to in the jail. They didn't even the files released. They didn't even they let you know about how the police and the officers inside of the prison weren't even referring to him as as a freaking cellmate or a prisoner. They was referring to Jeffrey Epstein as the client. I mean, this guy literally had police officers referring to him as the client. This is because this guy had serious political ties and serious connections that the average person wouldn't have. I mean, you even look at the come up of Jeffrey Epstein. He It doesn't make sense how he became a billionaire instantly in such a small amount of time. You know, you got him kicking it with Donald Trump in the late 80s. And Jeffrey Epstein was one of the sickest humans of all time. I mean, this guy was wicked. Never, ever, ever associate yourself with a political party, because now we're seeing all political parties are involved in it. I often say right or left wing is still on the same bird flying in the same direction. You can't trust these guys. Donald Trump, like I said, I was supporting Donald Trump, but I no longer support the guy. I mean, his party in particular is trying to mask the cover ups for the Epstein files and try to do shit that won't that will essentially knock off our end of observing what's going on behind closed curtains. Donald Trump is a piece of shit. So is Nick Fuentes. So is Jeffrey Epstein. So is Bill Clinton. Okay, this isn't even about political party, because the Jeffrey Epstein files dropping is only letting you know that it's not about a particular party. They're all in the same cabinet. They're all Illuminati, Baphomet worshippers. They're all satanic priests in their own right, and they all want to sacrifice children and do things to children. I mean, there's a story about a baby getting killed in front of Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump in Lake Michigan or something like that. I mean, these guys are literally sick, man. So I just wanted to talk about that, and I will drop later live streams talking about other topics with my personal opinion on these set topics, such as immigration, ICE, such as liberals, white liberal women, ruining America, all this stuff. So make sure you guys stick around. This is just the first live stream, but I had to get it out the way to set a precedent to let you guys know how I'm coming on these topics. I won't show my face. You don't need to see my face. This is how you're going to get the true unfiltered me. The liberals nowadays are fucking insane. I mean, you can't trust these people for shit. And so are a lot of. You see what happened to Charlie Kirk? I mean, they shot the dude in the neck just because he was speaking his opinion in truths. I know a lot of people didn't agree with Charlie Kirk. I particularly agreed to some of his opinions and taught on things that referring about Christianity. And I also wanted to talk on that. I am a Christian, so I do believe in Jesus Christ first, and America needs to go back to that. We'll also be talking about Islam and this Islamic demonic takeover that America's suffering right now, suffering from. I mean, even the UK, they're suffering from Islamic jihadists taking over their lands and trying to change the way that they believe things will go through. You got people such as what's his name? It's hard to remember these Abdul's names, but Sheikh Uthman. Sheikh Uthman talking about Islam will reach every household in America. No, the fuck it won't. And if you think it will, try your best coming to my door with that bullshit. We worship Jesus Christ over here. I'm a servant of Christ, and I would never serve Allah or Muhammad, the pedophile, the PDF file Muhammad himself. He's just like Epstein. He was the first Epstein. So I'm going to be talking about these topics unfiltered. I'm going to tell it like it is. Make sure you stick around. I love you guys, and we are out of here.